I was so mad when I saw that. People were being mean to Aura about that. I don't like that she got a leg up. The thing is, it was mostly like jealous VTubers.
Can't she just grind and suffer and get no views like the rest of us?
She won an audition and she's now working for a company and is supposed to promote them. Like, either you're so stupid that you have no idea how any of this works, or you're just mad. They hate Hollow because isn't it similar? Yeah, right? I was like, okay, well then say you hate them then if that's how you feel, because it's the same thing. A company is like, we want to make this and we want to promote it. If you haven't struggled harder than they have to get where you are, then it's not legit. The other thing is they don't see people's struggles. I went through being a smaller streamer back in early 2021 and they're like, I didn't see the come up. Yeah, because you didn't watch me because I had less than 100 viewers. You know? We gotta make GEEG TV. It's a website that only I stream on. GEEGA_GEEG TV. It sounds pretty good. I don't know. It sounds pretty nice. I don't know. I always think about other platforms, and in the end, I'm like, man, I just don't want to stream anywhere else. I just don't. I will consider multi-streaming. I think for some platforms where there's like no overlap. I don't know. I feel like anything I do, there's overlap. So I'd rather everyone just kind of hop into one, so I'm only taking care of one chat. Mods are only taking care of one chat, you know? God, just think of the level of work if you like are streaming on 2 different platforms and your mods have to exist and do their jobs. Everyone's like, just multi-stream. You could just set up a thing and it ports your stream to 2 platforms. It's so easy. Okay. What if you get weirdos in your chat? You ban them on Twitch, now they show up on YouTube. Now your mod is go, oh, now I have to click all these buttons. Do you know what I mean? It's an inconvenience. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a huge inconvenience to those people. Unless you just don't moderate your chat that much, then like, you know, go crazy, have a party. That's what some people do. They're like, if you want your chat to be seen on the screen, you want me to read it, go to Twitch. But then, you know, the other platforms, we don't really mod it much, but like, I'm also not gonna read it. That's how some people do it. I tried just doing some alt streams on YouTube a long while ago, and it was before I really had like much YouTube audience, so it was just throwaway stuff over there. And I didn't hate it, but now I have more YouTube audience, and I'd rather if they just came here, honestly, because it's not really the types of people that only watch YouTube streams. They're just like video and clip watchers. They don't watch streams, period. You know, they either come to Twitch or they just don't watch streams, and they're video Andes, which is fine. So for those people, I'm like, I don't know if there's much point trying to stream to them, because they don't want to watch live streams, you know? This was before I had an alt channel. It's like Discord about and they were streaming push. Yeah, Discord would have made no money if they let people stream. Oh, I love this person who's just poo-poo. I don't want Discord to be a place for me to stream to, but I do want Discord to let me embed my stream there so people could just be hanging out on Discord and be at like the home page of, because they don't really have a proper homepage, the home page of my server, and then just see like streamers live, and it just adds the player there and they can just sit there and watch through there. That's what I want. So you don't have to open a new tab. It's just part of Discord, and then you can have like a mini player that you keep opening back up or whatever. You know what I mean? And Discord itself is just a giant embed anyway. Having me opt in. Yeah. It's not like it has to autoplay for the person. It just, I think having it be that there's a channel that is your Twitch chat that wakes up and starts moving and has like a small mini player that you could click on if you want to start it up, you know? And that way creator servers can be like used that way properly. Because I don't know about you, but I wake up, I turn on my computer, I'm like, open internet, bring my tabs back up, and then open Discord. And that's it, right? That's my 2 things that I do as soon as I wake up and I have my computer on. I'm just like, boom, boom. I don't open Twitch instantly. So it would be helpful for me to catch people that are like on, and I thought maybe they'd be done by now, that kind of thing. Just see who's live without like committing to being on the platform for the day. I feel like a bot could be made for that. No, because you run into the same exact issue that I had when I was trying to stream alt streams over there. When you have a lot of people trying to watch, it just stops working. Like audio stops working, video will not play. It's just so unstable. But also if you do that, then people are watching through there and they're not connecting to your chat, which means they don't count as viewers, which would be really counterintuitive. To have people like actively engaged in watching and loving your stream, but then they can't count as viewers, like you really harm your stream that way. No streamer would actually do it if it didn't count them. Does Twitch actually allow stream embedding? To a tiny degree, yeah. Like yes, but not. There are guidelines, so you absolutely can, but it has to be viewable at a proper size. You can't do tiny players where people can't see, and they have to know that there's an embedded stream, right? It also has to be in a place that makes sense, your own website, something like that. Really good example, when Opera GX launched their VTuber, they made it so that on the homepage of their everything, you know, they just embedded her stream. And it was very obvious. It was a big player. It was like, oh, we're debuting our new VTuber. If you want to watch, here it is, you know? And it was like, that was totally allowed. That was totally fine because it was theirs, you know? Like that was their VTuber. That was their platform that they were putting it on, everything. They did not pull a Extra Life. I don't want to hear anyone talking bad about that. It was a good idea. They were a company promoting something that they put their own resources into and advertising their own person. What Extra Life did was embedded things in a way where people didn't even realize they were giving them a view. That was scummy as fuck. And that's totally different. Totally different. They would put it in stuff that didn't even have to do with them too, right? Like, it's one thing if it's like, yo, we're Opera and here's our VTuber. Here she is, right? But Extra Life was done in a way where you couldn't tell really that you were like counting as a view towards someone's stream. Like you could not really tell very easily at all. And then yeah, it was on like their wiki. So you would scroll down to a part of a wiki page and leave it there because you're playing some game and you want that wiki page open or whatever. And then they would get your view because there's some little embed up in the corner that looks like an ad. Yeah, it's about intent. Exactly. So what Opera did was like, I felt totally fine, totally fair, really good idea. Like you'd be stupid not to do it like that. And then what Extra Life did was like, what the hell, man? Like that was like, yeah, the intent was definitely to, very obviously to trick people into giving them a view. So you can embed, like Twitch does allow stuff to an extent, but it has to be like, you know, done properly, really. I say it all the time. I was so mad when I saw that people were being mean to Aura, like, about that. The thing is, it was mostly like jealous VTubers. They were like, yo, I don't like that she got a leg up from a company. Can't she just grind and suffer and get no views like the rest of us? You know, like it was that. And I was like, dude, she won an audition and she's now working for a company and is supposed to promote them. Like, what? Either you're so stupid that you have no idea how any of this works, or you're just mad. There's no way. Right? Like, I was just like, there's no way this is anything else, man. Like, yeah, they paid for everything for her and she won an audition specifically to like get all that shit done. They're gonna scratch each other's backs. That's very normal. And I'm like, dude, if you want the same thing, okay, go win an audition and be like, I mean like big corpa, not like VTuber corpa, but like a product like that. They hate Hollow because isn't it similar? Yeah, right? I was like, okay, well then say you hate them then if that's how you feel, because it's the same thing. A company is like, we want to make this and we want to promote it when you want a launch to go well. There are people with these really weird whack takes about that where they're like, you should do everything indie and suffer or you're not real. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, yeah, it's just jealousy and they're just saying whatever that makes no sense. But people have always done that for all corpus. I know people did that to me. Not too much though, not nearly as much as other people. So I was like, oh, interesting. I think because they know I'd flame them, but like a lot of people did say stuff here and there when I joined VShojo and they were like, oh, she's gonna get some huge boost. And I was like, first of all, I didn't. I got like, what, 10K followers on all platforms? Whereas like other corpos people get like 100 when they debut, you know? So I was like, first of all, it's not what you think it is. Second of all, the thing that boosted me the most was content that I made on Bounce SMP, followers and people being there, whatever, you know. If you haven't struggled harder than they have to get where you are, then it's not legit. The other thing is they don't see people's struggles, right? Your struggle is more visible when you're small, but when you're small, no one's watching you. I went through being a smaller streamer, right? I didn't debut into like 1,000 viewers. I never even debuted because I barely had a model and just started going live back in early 2021. And I was a small streamer and no one knew me. And then eventually I grew and they're like, I didn't see the come up. Yeah, because you didn't watch me because I had less than 100 viewers. you know? Or like Shy Lily's a good example. She was doing so well. She was at like she was like a couple hundred and fewer viewers for a very long time. She was a smaller streamer too. Giri, one of the first VTubers I made friends with. We knew each other when we were both at like 20 to 50 viewers. We found each other because we were both smart creators and I was like, you're nice. And she was like, you're nice. And I was like, okay. You know? So yeah, anyone knows that attitude where they like you're saying, like they feel like you should struggle hard or whatever. They just haven't seen it. Or they see someone debut to a lot of people and they're like, that person hasn't been through what I've been through. Usually they have, just on another platform or like in another industry, maybe not as a VTuber, but somewhere else. A lot of people are doing really well right now in like the more idol-esque space had been doing that stuff for literally a decade. Nearly everyone who's doing really well right now was at this shit for forever. And not doing well for most of it. because the market didn't exist. But when the market existed, the people who were there and had already been struggling for years were the ones who got those viewers early because they were at that for forever. Some people also say like, oh, there was early movers advantage, right? Like if you were there first, you just got viewers just cause. But it wasn't exactly that. It was more like when viewers showed up, who was already at this and being professional and really like, you know, somewhat experienced at that time is the people who had been grinding already. I periodically go through my followers list on Twitter like every couple of months, and I clean up. I remove follows from like people that don't stream anymore and don't post, haven't posted in years. There's so many names I've removed that I knew in my first year that just disappeared. And they were like well known at the time. I remember them being like, you know, they're like hot shit at the time. But then now they're just completely gone, you know? So people also, they have this weird like perception of it because you only see the ones nowadays that made it. There were so many that tried that didn't. Or did for a bit and then stopped, you know? Check one old ass tweet and man, it's like a graveyard of people who just stop. Yeah, because if you're not doing too well at some point, you're at it for a long time. A lot of people will be like, you know, I should really just focus on my career, you know? Or a lot of people do this through school and then school ends and they're like, well, I have to go get a job now. Yeah, he said it's easier to blame someone for having what they perceive as unfair advantage than do some self-reflection and improve. 100%. A lot of the friends I used to hang out with way back in the day don't stream anymore. A lot of the people I collabed with in my first like month of streaming, most of them are just not around anymore. There are one or two I still talk to, but they're not, you know, content creator anymore. If this wasn't doing better for you financially than your job, and your job was coming back because COVID was kind of quote unquote over, then yeah, you're not going to continue streaming, you're going to go back to work. And then a lot of the people that are like newer, starting the last 2 years, they're not starting because of COVID, they're starting just because they're like the usual crowd that would normally become a streamer anyway. Mostly younger, a lot of students and stuff. Whatever's going on in their life isn't really working out that well, so they're like, let me try streaming. Main reason everyone's a DoorDasher now. But a lot of people that stream to a small audience are like, they're like, oh, I do it because it's some disposable income. And I'm like, hey man, you'd be better off financially being a DoorDasher, straight up. Like if you're doing it for money, or you're like, oh, I want disposable income, please do that. It's so much better. Wanting to see growth is fine, but if you're like starting stream that day because you're like, oh, today would be a good stream because blah, 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 and you don't even want to, no, it's just like so not worth. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill your mental. I streamed once during COVID, got 1 follower, and it felt nice. It should just be like a nice little experience like that. Yeah. Is a slippery slope into, oh, artists must do it for the love of the game and can never want to get paid or to eat kind of thinking, right? You get close to that line, which isn't correct either. Holding yourself to it because it's your job, but also enjoying it because your enjoyment is palpable on stream is important, right? If you want to go into this and treat it as a job and not like it, that is also okay, but be honest about it. You know what I mean? The problem is a lot of streamers will be like, oh man, I'm just here because I love you guys so much and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, if that's part of it, that's great. If that's not true and you're actually doing it because it's your job and you really don't feel that way, then don't say it. If you're like, I'm just here to get a paycheck and because I like video games, but I don't actually like streaming that much, but it pays me well, I think that's totally fine to say. I just think some people don't like hearing that. I don't expect everyone to like their job either. I don't really think that's like a big problem. If someone is being a plumber and they're like, I don't actually like being a plumber, I'm not gonna be like, stop being a plumber then, you're not allowed. That's crazy, that's the guy's job. But I don't want him to go to his plumbing job and every single client is like, do you like plumbing? And he's gonna be like, I love it so much. Honestly, it's crazy. I don't even need to get paid. I'd have so much fun doing it. You know, then I'm like, all right, right? There's some people who straight up like hate streaming and only do it for money, but they started off liking it, you know, and it just turned into like a beast. Their own burden that they just keep up with, right? Because it pays them. And they don't say that. They say to their chat like, oh yeah, I love it so much. And I think sometimes people don't see it. You're not legally required to state how you feel about the work you're doing. Like, but I mean, if someone asks, don't lie. For me, I pretty much always like streaming. But if I had a day where I didn't really feel like streaming, but I was doing it because like had to that day, I would just say that. If someone's like, oh, are you excited to be here on stream today? I'd be like, not really. Today's a day where I'd rather be doing anything else. I would just say it, you know. A lot of people at your job feel called toward it or have a plan to go further in the field and you're just there making it through your day. It's fine, just don't do like the people teeth smile every day and conceal don't feel kind of thing.